when it comes to Berhalter again, what do you think people specifically on the field are hoping to see relative to this juxtaposition with what happened in this previous cycle?
It's a tricky one because when you rehire the same coach from the previous cycle, you're opting for continuity. You're basically telling him, we like the job you did. We want you to stay on that path. So I can't completely fault Berhalter for rolling out the same formation and sort of employing the same ideas that we've seen the last 4 years. But it's human nature at the start of a new cycle to want to see something different and some change. You use the word evolution. So that's going to be a tricky thing for him to, yeah, he's going to, listen, there's going to be some natural change over the next 3 years because new players are going to emerge, other players are going to get old. You've added somebody like Balogun, but I don't think Berhalter is going to all of a sudden turn into a different coach here. He's going to keep doing what he did the previous 4 years, which U.S. soccer seemed to like, which is why they rehired him.
Speaking of that, Berhalter was asked about this, and he said the plan in 2018 was to bring this group through the 2 cycles. And, I think he was being asked about his return and his getting another cycle and going through all of what's happened over the last eight months. And so in his mind, I think that what he was trying to say here was, and I think this is fair, is that whoever was going to be hired after the 2017 debacle relative to 2018 World Cup, it was with an eye to 2026. Not that you're completely bypassing 2022, I guess, in Qatar. And that is reflected in the fact that Berhalter, who ultimately got the job, was only given a 3-year contract through the 2022 World Cup. But I think what he is saying here is that the ideal was that he or whoever was hired for that job was going to take this team and have them matriculate up to 2026 in a much better version with an understanding that there was going to be a lot of young players and inexperienced players. And I think that makes sense. That it ultimately ended up being him. I mean, he would have wanted that, but certainly if you had talked to him probably in January of this year, the chances of that happening were probably slim and none. But here he finds himself going forward in charge of this team. I don't think that he's looking past next summer, nor should he. I don't think Matt Crocker, even though he's going to say all positive things about what's happening here and that, yes, this is a long-term type of project, but if it doesn't go well, and we'll talk about when it's not going well and the ruthlessness that you need to stem the flow later on in the pod elsewhere, if it does not go well, and if Matt Crocker and this U.S. Soccer Federation don't think that it is heading in that direction that gives us the best possible chance of succeeding in 2026, don't think for a second that they won't re-examine it. And I think next summer is a huge, huge moment for Gregg Berhalter.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.